Everyone, this is Corey with another combination dev diary and feature preview. We said in the last video that we wanted to start turning every news post into its own video, as well as having some other feature previews in between. But right after that my mic died, which made it really hard to do. Me and Sleverd tried to record like a 30-minute long video where we talked about stuff and showed some stuff off, but I was completely inaudible during the whole thing, which kinda disappointed me, but oh well. So the main point of this one is to show the Hypervelocity gun for the Remnant, but while we wait for someone probably from the Pentastar alignment to get there. Oh look, we got a planet over here. I'll just talk about some of the other news posts we've had. And when I say Pentastar alignment, that's because everyone is playing as an Imperial right now, and we've given the AIs names of different Imperial groups. It doesn't mean that the Pentastar alignment is its own playable faction, just to clear that up. So right now I'm playing against 2nd Imperium, Greater Maldrude, Pentastar alignment, and Admiral Izzard. So the scenario I'm playing on is called Alignment. It's a 5-player map, sort of an homage to the Pentastar alignment. But the first news post I'm going to cover is the Fighter Logistics news post, where we talked about how we wanted to be able to represent the true fighter capacities of all the ships that we've included. However, we didn't want to add to the whole fighter spam issue that Sin sometimes has. So as a result, we've adapted a new system where every ship has every ship which canonically has fighters will have fighters and can have between 1 and 3 active on the map at all times. So for the Remnant, there's TIE Interceptors, TIE Fighters, TIE Bombers, and keep in mind that this is all basically pre-alpha footage, so a lot of stuff is incomplete. But you can have between 1 and 3 fighter squadrons out on the field at a time, depending on whether it's a carrier and a bunch of other things that will solidify more as we get closer to release. However, instead of having flat antimatter stuff, or flat antimatter amounts, you have a total amount of fighters, which every time you spawn a squadron, you lose however many would be in that squadron. So this will go down to 60 as all the fighters from that squadron spawn from this ISD2. ISD2s have interceptors and TIE defenders, TIE bombers, TIE fighters. So as that goes down, it should get down another 24 because there's 12 per squadron. Actually, that'll go down 36 because TIE defender squadrons, as one of the most powerful in the game, which we want to prevent spamming of, take more. And one of the main parts of this system is that the fighter supply doesn't automatically regen over time. Instead, what you have are units like the Altor, which are fleet tenders, and
all systems go.
When units are deployed in the field, or whatever you want to call it, the empty space, they will need to be stocked up with antimatter, which is now fighters, and they don't passively regenerate hull as much. So you need some form of upkeep to happen. And as we explained in a previous video, as ships take damage, they lose certain capabilities. So whether it's 50% damage. Oh, I've got a Star Destroyer that's kind of damaged here, so I'll see if the bonus is there. Nope, it's not damaged enough yet. But when you are at 50% health, you do 50% damage, 25% health, 25% damage. It doesn't scale flat. There's like a few tiers that you can drop down to. And when you're at about 15%, I think it is right now, you lose a significant amount of your engine power. And we're going to expand on that system as much as we feel comfortable without overcomplicating it too much. I've just got a good selection of Imperial units just to look at here. And one of the other things we talked about was planets, expanding on planet specialization, which Sin's introduced with the Forbidden Worlds DLC, where you can have like industrial or whatever. We wanted to expand that into other economic and military areas. We've started to do that with the Naval Command Station. Doesn't have a texturing yet, but this is the Imperial Military Specialization Indicator. It's a building that takes up logistic slots, but which gives military bonuses. And when you build it, you're essentially using all of your logistic slots to improve your military. So defensive specialization is one of the abilities, is the main ability you get out of it. It decreases your resource and population growth output as well as some trade. While it buffs the strength of your defensive structures and gives some other bonuses that we're not quite going to talk about yet. It's also the source of the Hypervelocity gun ability, which is one of the Imperial's ground-to-space weapon. So that's what I'm going to show off as soon as I get invaded, which should happen soon enough. Oh, look, I have an Imperial Star Destroyer that is weak. Ignore the sound effects for now. They're just stock, but as you can see there, if you look close before it just got destroyed, it was down to minus 75% of its damage. Alright, so that pretty much covers those two systems. We're going to have more details on the planet specializations in the future, but I'll just get a hypervelocity shot off and then that should be it. Alright, so we've got a Carrack flying in our system, so I'll just target that, and soon enough, there it is. We're still working on getting the timing set up properly for when it takes damage, but you can sort of see the effect there. The hypervelocity gun does a lot of damage. That's its main function. The ion cannon is going to be the New Republic's. It's more of a disabler that has longer term effects. Yeah, so let's give one more look at the galaxy in this scenario, which is based around the core, and then that should be it. I'll try to have another video out soon. We should have another news post coming out this week, as well as some other media. We've got a bunch of discussions going on in our forums. In the Admiral's Lounge, there is a picture of something that probably won't be shown publicly for another couple months. It's a pretty big deal.